today we're going to talk about what is PACE financing and what are the basic requirements to qualify for financing. PACE financing is a great tool for real estate developers. Currently, it's approved in about 25 states. And let me kind of dive into a little bit of details. PACE, or CPACE, is Property Assessed Clean Energy. It's an innovative way for owners to pay for upgrades to buildings, whether it's a retrofit or ground up construction. It's a state legislated public and private partnership, and it covers 100% of improvement costs, which equates to about 20 to 30% of the building's value. So in the capital stack for ground up construction, it can cover anywhere from a range of 10 to 25-ish percent of the cost to build that, and it essentially funds the eligible green products surrounding the building. Right? It's designed to increase the performance of the building, less carbon emission and all that stuff. And why the developers also like it, because we're doing good for the society by building green buildings, is it gives you a lower cost of capital as opposed to having to bring in pref equity and so forth. It's long-term non-recourse financing, so it's very popular, and it's just growing. I think with over the last 3 years, it's really just really growing in a big way. And I think if you're in a state that's approved right now, if you're doing a development project, you should be looking at PACE to fill in the capital stack, because it usually makes sense to do that.
Are you in the market for a commercial loan? Did you find the perfect opportunity but need funding? Have a special situation? At Find the Bank, you will get quotes with competitive rates and terms from multiple lenders without any hassles. Have a multifamily property, construction project, owner-user property, industrial, mixed use, hotel? At Find the Bank, you can get nearly any kind of commercial financing. The process is simple. Once you send us some information about you and your property, we send back a quote sheet. Then we quickly connect you with an advisor. You won't spend hours calling multiple banks trying to find the right person to talk to. We'll connect you fast to the right person, hassle-free. Better terms than you could get on your own. Go to findthebank.com and complete the form. An advisor will be connected with you within minutes to discuss your specific financing needs.
So there's kind of a 5-prong approach to sizing these deals. It's fairly easy to size. I think depending on where the transaction is, that's kind of the outlier that we have to look at. But really, we look at eligible spend. We look at the local government, the PACE requirements there. We look at the PACE to value. We look at cash equity. Typically, you want to see about at least 15% sponsor equity in the deal. And we look at debt service coverage ratio with the PACE financing and the senior debt together. So there's certain debt service coverage ratios that we look for. The cool thing is that we underwrite off the stabilized value of these properties. So for hotels and assisted living and multifamily, we underwrite off the stabilized value on these ground up construction deals. So that is huge. So I would say the underwriting of these deals is fairly easy. It really comes down to location of the property. Has that county, has that township done any PACE deals? If not, doesn't mean it's a no-go. It just might take an extra step to get through the process. But we can help you do all of that. And so PACE really comes in the capital stack. So you have your senior lender, you got your bank or your debt fund, and then you have PACE that comes in. And PACE is actually not like a second mortgage or debt on the property. It's actually an assessment through the property taxes. So you have to, in order for this to work, you have to get a friendly senior lender that says, okay, I'll sign your consent. I'll sign your lender consent form. And that's really the most important piece of this, is it's in the right area. The sizing fits your needs as the developer, and then getting the senior lender on board. So we like, on development projects especially, we like to obviously start underwriting and get the commitment on our end with PACE, and then take it out to the market. take it out and get senior lender at that point, not vice versa. It works better getting this in place first and then bringing it to a bank, credit union, debt fund that has worked with PACE or is open to working with PACE. And we can actually get the right people on the phone call to get the approval process. Because what my experiences have been is that when it's explained in the right fashion, the banks or the senior lenders are more open to it. I think their big misconception is like, oh, you have the PACE financing has seniority, and what about foreclosure rights? So if they really dive into the minutia of it, they can see that it's actually not really that threatening at all. And usually we're able to convince banks to get on board with the program, because at the end of the day, this is the good for everybody. It's the good for the environment. It's the good for the developer. It's good for the investors who get better returns because they're having to raise less money for the projects. There's cheaper cost of capital for this type of financing. So it's a really awesome product. Some states are a lot more liberal on what you can finance, such as California and Florida. And there's kind of little details you need to know in each state. And there's local administrators for the programs in different cities and counties and townships. So we have a directory that we know who handles the admin of the program, what the caveats of the program are, and so forth. So right now, just to give you an example, we have California, Oregon, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Nebraska, Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, Virginia, Delaware, Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Florida, and there's a couple other states that are coming on board like right now, but it's a process, right? Anything you have to bring it to the state level first, then go into the counties from there. But it's a great tool. You can finance 100% of the improvement cost of which equates to about 20% of the building's value. It's repaid through an assessment on the property for up to 30 years, so it's longer term. The amortization is longer. Hotels, industrial properties, retail, shopping, adaptive use properties, retrofit deals. If you're mid-construction and you're in an eligible area, you can actually bring in PACE, and actually it's worked as a tool to get the construction completion done. So it can come in mid-construction. Some states allow for retroactive up to 3 years after certificate of occupancy. So it's an amazing tool. I encourage you to look into it. I encourage you to reach out. Love to jump on a Zoom call with you, discuss the program, especially if you're developing something or doing a big adaptive reuse. I think it makes sense more, in the capital stack for amounts of $1 million plus. I mean, there's deals anywhere from $500,000-$800,000 to $50-60 million PACE deals. So it's across the board, and this is getting more and more popular. So you're seeing a lot of developers put this in the capital stack. It can work with historic tax credits, all different tax credits and different programs. So it's really a versatile tool. So anyways, thanks for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and help me out in the algorithms, and share this podcast or video with your network. Really appreciate it. Look forward to doing many, many more interviews and live shows with you